What's up, YouTube? This is Hector from Not Too Nerdy, and I have been gone for over 2 months. Just want to let you guys know I am alive. I know in YouTube years, 2 months is like you must be dead. You must be dead. Someone kidnapped you. Someone chopped you up to little pieces. But I want to let you guys know I'm good. I'm well. I'm here. So I have a couple things I do want to discuss. Now, before I go into the topic for today's video, I do want to give a shout out to Not Too Nerdy. Oh, I know what you're thinking. I'm not too nerdy, but no, there's actually other people that use the word, the name Not Too Nerdy, which is pretty impressive because I made that name up like 7 years ago. But it's cool. I thought I'll give them a shout out since they need the views. I mean, I haven't been on YouTube for almost 3 months, and still my videos get more views than they do, which is pretty damn sad. You're competing against someone that doesn't even make videos anymore, and yet you average like 4 views per video. But anyway, I digress. I'm not gonna start any more YouTube drama. We'll stop right there. We're not gonna go pursue anymore. So for today's topic, I want to discuss Xbox Scorpio. Now, I was impressed. I was very impressed when I saw the specs, and I have to admit, I was one that thought there's no way in hell that Microsoft is gonna get a 4K 60 frames per second console. Now, I still doubt that most games will be like that. I think some games will. I don't think they're gonna reach that potential for all games, but I'm still impressed with the specs. So real quick, if you have not seen the specs, definitely go check it out, but I'm gonna go over it real quick. Now, the CPU, 2.3 gigahertz. I think that to me is the only thing that's holding back this console. 2.3 gigahertz is about, it's a little bit better than the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is the 2.1 gigahertz. So it's not that impressive. It's still the 8 cores. All right, you're still doing the same. It's just overclock version what they have already. Now, I think that might hurt them in the long run because I feel like they did that because, they're still going to have to be able to use the same games as a regular Xbox One. This is not a new console generation, so the CPU is just overclocked, and I think they might have trouble with that. I think that if you see games, for example, like open world games that actually use CPU, you're going to be in big trouble. Now, obviously Forza and games that are in like a closed environment, they don't use as much CPU. They do not use CPU like that. But once you get into those open world games, like if you get to like Assassin's Creed or games that involve a lot of AI moving around plus the environmental stuff elements, that's when it uses up more CPU. And that's when your CPU becomes a bottleneck to your console, to your GPU. Now, we experienced that already for PS4 Pro. That's the reason why you see certain dips in games, and people wonder, why is it dipping? This is supposed to be more powerful. Well, when you have a GPU that can't keep up with the GPU, or sorry, when you have a CPU that can't keep up with the GPU, you're gonna have some trouble. That's what we call a bottleneck. The PC world, and that's some issues right there. So I think that's the only bad spec that they have. Now, the GPU, obviously 6 teraflops. Pretty impressive. I think that's really good. The memory is what I think is the most impressive stat. They're going with 12 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I did not see that coming. I think that is awesome. 12 gigabytes of RAM on a console is pretty cool, even though 4 gigabytes can be used for the console itself because the menus and all that, the whole display, that's all going to have to be rendered in 4K. So about 4 gigabytes is used for that. But still, having 8 gigabytes reserved, that's pretty awesome. To me, that's very impressive that they did that. I did not see that one coming. The memory bandwidth is 326 gigabytes per second, comparing it to the PlayStation 4, which is the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is 218 gigabytes per second. So that's pretty impressive as well. Everything else is the same. They still got the 4K Ultra Blu-ray, so that's cool. But to me, the memory is awesome. The CPU is not. And I think that could be one of their downfalls is the CPU. I think another one of their downfalls is going to be the pricing, because Here's the dilemma. If you're a company like Microsoft, you're already going to sell this at a loss, no matter how you look at it, because you know that the pricing for this already, if you know the real price and how much it would cost to make this, you have to assume that it's going to cost about $600 to make it. $650 to make this. Just looking at it, they make it in bulk. I would say like $600 or so. The problem is we already know what happens when a console releases at $600. They're not going to sell. So now you're going to have to sell it less. So you're talking about $500. So you're already going to be selling it at a loss at $500. Like, I can see them selling it at a major loss at $500. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of gamers that want it to be lower, especially since you're behind in this console war or whatever, this race. You might have to sell lower than that. And I honestly don't think they can afford to do that. I already see them selling it at a loss at $500. Imagine if they have to try to go to $450. $400, forget about it. It's not going to happen. But $450, they're going to be at a major loss. Now, companies can survive at selling consoles for a loss if they have software to back it up. I don't know about you, but I have had the Xbox One. Sorry, I don't have it anymore. I have the Xbox One S now. But now that I have the Xbox One S, I use it for 4K Blu-ray player. I do not play games on it. I had Gears of War, but I ended up playing Gears of War more on the PC than I did on the Xbox One S. So what games do they have coming up? That's the real question. Because you might get people to buy the hardware. You might get people to upgrade from the Xbox One or Xbox One S to Xbox Scorpio, but you need the games. The problem here is that this is not a new console generation. You might have issues if convincing people that you should upgrade to this, because you have to show them games that you got to give them reason to go. I don't know if it's enough for people to just upgrade for 2 games, 3 games. Is that enough? I don't think so. This is gonna be a pricey console. It's gonna be like a brand new console price, and I don't know if people are willing to do that yet. Now, I guarantee a lot of people are gonna buy the console per se, but I honestly don't know anymore. I don't know, because can people have a PC? Like, could they build a PC? Is it going to be the same price as something they could build? I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't know. It depends on the pricing of the console. So I'm kind of curious, and I'm sure you guys are too. And I think that's what's going to make or break this. If they ever sell it for if they ever sell it for under $500, I guarantee you it's going to do well. We already know it's going to sell well. The problem is, are people going to stick with it? Are they going to buy the games? Because are they going to have games? I don't know what's going to happen, because we don't know what Sony's doing on the other side. Sony's just waiting. We don't know if they what if they make an announcement for a PlayStation 5 or another console, and they're just waiting for Microsoft to show things here and then introduce their own console, an actual new, the next generation of consoles. Who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen. My point is, though, this is very dangerous because the CPU is so similar. I don't know. I just feel that Microsoft was better off changing the CPU and making it a new console generation for them. They should have just jumped to next generation, take the Xbox One as a loss, and just jump shift. But they decided to do this. I don't know how it's gonna play out, because I feel the fact that they still have to have the games run on the regular Xbox One is going to limit how great the Scorpio could be with the specs that it has. So once again, I'm very impressed with the Scorpio. I don't know how well it's going to do. I'm as anxious as you guys are to see what's going to happen in the future. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. How much you think the Scorpio is going to cost? And do you think it's going to be successful? Do you think it's actually going to beat out the PlayStation 4? Or is it just something that it's just going to help Microsoft, but they're not going to come close to the PS4 sales? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'm sorry to shout out to, the other Not Too Nerdy. I'm sure your channel's doing well. I really didn't look at it, so I'm not going to put you guys down that much. I just wish you guys, sat down and created a different name instead of the end-to-end, which is like identical to what I created 7 years ago. But it's okay though. I mean, not everyone's creative. Sometimes you just gotta copy, I guess. But that's it. This is Hector from Not Too Nerdy Entertainment. That's pretty much it, guys. Have a great day. See you. Don't forget to hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe.